I'm Tammy with Hustle and Soul magazine, also with our sister publication, We Empower magazine. And we are honored today to give you a digital cover because, in our opinion, you are poised to be one of the greatest actors of our generation, Matt. And we are honored and huge fans. And I'm so ready to get started because not only are you an actor, you have tons of experience in the modeling industry. And what got you into entertainment in the first place?
That's kind of funny. That's crazy. I'm from Washington State originally. That's where I was born. And it was modeling that originally got me into it, strangely enough, and not by choice. What ended up happening was I got injured in sports, was playing football, got my knee blown out. And so I decided to stay home and go to community college instead, off to university where I had some scholarship offers. And had a buddy of mine who was actually into modeling and wanting to do that sort of thing. And coincidentally, we happened to be on the streets of Seattle. And this dude approached me and he was like, yo, man, you ever think about modeling? And I hadn't personally, it was more my friend that was aspiring to be, and he was with me. And he was just kind of like looking at me like, why him? It's supposed to be me, kind of thing. So I entertained it. I went with him to a modeling agency. He was just kind of a scout. And the modeling part of it happened kind of quick. They had taken some Polaroids, and at the time, this was in the 90s, and they sent it to Bruce Weber, who was shooting Versace.
Oh.
And off my little Polaroids, I ended up booking that. So I was in college, and it was like that night I went home and I told my dad, I was like, hey, Dad, they booked me for this designer called Versace. In my world, we didn't know who that was. And it was like the next day I was getting a rushed passport and flying to Italy. So that was kind of my first introduction into it.
What do you enjoy most about being an actor?
Enjoy most about being an actor? Yeah, the modeling part of it was very short-lived. I didn't enjoy the modeling world. So I kind of went there. Yeah, that was a cool job. It was surreal. But it felt a little empty for me. Like I was always kind of shy growing up, camera shy.
Okay.
I didn't like taking pictures and things of that sort. And it felt like that's kind of all it was just sort of, posing for a camera. And I felt very powerless and helpless as to I felt limited as to what I could do to really improve as a model, other than find my angles, you know what I mean, and work on some poses. I always felt helpless giving my modeling book to a designer or whoever, and they just looked at my pictures and be like, no thanks, you're not right for me. It was just all based on the look. So with acting, it felt a little bit more result oriented. Like the more that you're able to invest into it and actually learn about something, you're developing tools that can help separate you from somebody else. You can allow your uniqueness to kind of shine through. And that's kind of what helps you get jobs. There's not a lot of control with being an actor still in this business, but at least that was more of a semblance of control than just being about the look. So to answer your question about what do I like most about being an actor, is definitely not the business part of it. It's the actual, the storytelling of it. When you're in a scene, and even though it's scripted and you're with somebody that's really kind of present and alive in the scene, I think that kind of unexpectedness, unknowingness of what could happen and things that come up that aren't necessarily scripted, those organic moments are the most gratifying moments of being an actor. Just sort of surprising yourself or being surprised by the other person, and just being alive, telling the stories is the most rewarding part.
Thank you for sharing that. Who are some actors that you work with who inspire you to be better? Because you are on some hit TV shows. You were on Power, you're on Ruthless, Z Nation, you've been in Days Are Alive, the list goes on. Who are some actors that stick with you on set? You're like, damn, I'm taking notes from them.
When I started out, I think the soap was where I started. But right prior to doing the soap, I did a little movie where I played the young Jimmy Smits. And he said, what did he say to me? he just had a way about him. Like I was a little kid at that. Well, not a little kid. I was 21 or something like that. This was like 2 weeks before I started the soap. And he was just like this huge presence to me. But he was very calming, grounded, and real. He didn't say anything specific, but it was the way that he made me feel, being such a brand new person to the industry. He just had a calming effect, a very human aspect to him that was just really genuine, and that I appreciated, somebody that had so much success. So just the way that he held himself was something that has always stuck with me. That was kind of one of my first impressions of somebody who was, really kind of well known in the industry. He was big to me. That stuck with me. And then on the daytime soap was Renee Jones. I don't know if you know what Renee Jones is. She played Lexi. She had a crap ton of experience, and she was always kind of trying to guide and like give these little nuggets of wisdom that has also kind of stayed with me. Like she kind of taught me to journal, how to access emotion through journaling, and just growth and balance and groundedness, like kind of helped a lot. And then on my journey throughout, like every project I've been on, there's been somebody that, you can kind of grow from, because everybody's unique and different.
Right.
Those are a couple of the foundational ones.
Wow. What are some memorable moments for you, Matt, in your career that you're extremely proud of?
I think it was hard for me leaving the soap opera originally. The first time that I left the contract, when my contract expires, they had not renewed it. So I felt kind of shocked. I was like, I thought this was going to be my home, for
Forever.
Some of those actors are on there for 20, 30, 40 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I felt like I had gotten to a place where I was very comfortable in that world. And so that was an unexpected, forced reality, a wake-up call for me that you just can't ever get complacent. And so it kind of ignited me. And the first project that I got after that was a movie. It was a television movie with Laura Prepon from that 70s show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was in 2005, I think it was. But it was after the soap. So I felt super proud to have broken out of the soap mold and to be flying on a plane to Mexico to shoot this, leading the movie with her. You know what I mean? So that was a defining moment that, there was life after soaps, and that I could do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That was definitely one of them on the career trajectory. I think most of my breakthroughs, that I'm most proud of, happened in Ruthless, actually. Because Tyler Perry has formed me as an actor in so many different ways that I can't even begin to explain. But so most definitely some of the things I've been able to overcome and achieve playing the character of the highest, I would say.
Hands down. Yes, Matt. And I actually was going to ask you that, because being Cristobal on Power and then being the highest on Ruthless, I was going to ask you what was more challenging and why, because both characters we love to hate, both charming, both criminals. We love to hate, but the acting is so on point. And this is why we're saying you're poised to be one of the greatest actors of our generation. If you believe it or not, we believe it. We are proud of you. We're rooting for you. You are definitely doing the damn thing. And wow, which one is more challenging for you? I have my opinion. I'm just wondering, but I'm so eager to know what's your opinion.
Yeah. Power was a little bit bittersweet for me, because the writer creator Courtney, she's wonderful. She saw something in me that most hadn't. She kind of broke me out of that mold of being leading hero, that type, to somebody that was a bit darker and, like you said, could be hated. She saw something in me that, where she took a leap, because I didn't actually even audition for the role of Cristobal. I had auditioned for the role of the police chief, played by David Romero. What was the police chief's name? forget it, but it was a suit and tie. It didn't even have an accent. And, it was quite different than Cristobal. But the bitter part of it, not bitter, but, the unfortunate part of it is the storyline didn't take the arc that, I had originally discussed with Courtney. So I felt like it was, I didn't get to explore all sides of Cristobal. I didn't have the opportunity to play the range or even finish out his storyline arc. It just felt like it kind of was a little bit here for me. Whereas Ruthless, definitely more of a challenge with him because Tyler has just written every possible hardship and emotion for this guy to experience, like from the extreme joy and like being on a high, both synthetically with drugs to, just being this cult leader where I get this high from leading my people and, giving my prophecies and things of that sort, to the super low, you know what I mean? To being crashed out from his drug addiction, to having tremendous loss and abuse as a child, and all of that kind of manifesting itself in my actions of today through the eyes of the highest. Like it's really intense. And the way in which Tyler shoots is at an exceptionally fast pace. So we shoot an entire season, what would have taken Power literally 9 to 10 months to shoot of material. We shoot it in 2 to 3 weeks. It's that fast. So every take that you're seeing with Ruthless, I would love to have 2 or 3 more takes, but 99% of them is just one take. Most people don't realize that.
Oh my gosh, if we're to be done on point like that, in that limited amount of time, y'all coming with it. Yes, the professionalism of your entire ensemble cast. Wow, I had no idea. You can't even tell. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I wish that the show had a little disclaimer almost at the bottom when you're watching it, that it literally is shot in that time frame. Like Tyler has got his process dialed in so much with his crew, but a lot of the normal things that you have with most shows like Power, we would shoot 4 to 6 pages in a day. That's the entire cast. Production would shoot 4 to 6 pages in a day. Tyler will shoot 130 pages in a day.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. This is amazing. Is there anything you can tell us about Ruthless or not yet?
You guys are midway through season 2, right? Like airing?
I've seen on the app up to episode 9.
Yeah, season 2.
Is that the entire season 2?
It's midway. So
midway.
We're on a mid-season break, and I've heard that it returns in November. So, which is crazy because we've shot season 3 already.
Got you. See, that's what I want to. Okay. So we just have to wait and see. Just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. But it gets crazier and it gets more. Super proud of the second half of season 2 and 3 for everybody. Because we ended up reshooting the second half of season 1. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not.
Oh, I didn't know you reshot it.
But we had shot a whole, season of Ruthless, and then Tyler was watching it, and he had some different ideas and some things that he felt like was really working, and some other things that weren't working so well. So he went and retooled and rewrote everything. So for season 2, we went back and reshot the second half of season 1, and then all of season 2 in that time frame. It was intense.
Wow. Well, with that being said, how do you balance your mental health, your self-care, being a dad as well, and all the pressures of the industry? How do you hold yourself together, Matt?
I think it's a lot of compartmentalization. I feel very fortunate that most of my work is done, from home in terms of prep work and studying, and now, with COVID, even more of the auditions and things of that sort are done from home, like self-tape. So I'm very thankful and lucky to be able to be here, at least present most of the time with my kids and stuff. I do have to leave for filming, but just compartmentalize. The work is the work, getting in the character, doing my thing. And when you're daddy, you're something else, they really don't interact so much. But it's challenging. Both of my kids are at an age where they're a lot. One is 3, one is 7, and they have a lot of their own needs, and they require a certain investment as well, emotionally and time, and always want to be there for them. So it's tough. Some days are super challenging, and you know what I mean? You got to really work for it. Other days it's just kind of going with the flow.
Yes. And your beautiful wife, you have a business together. How did that come about?
That was shortly after the soap. There was another actor friend of mine who had a wife that was from Brazil, and she had started this activewear line. And they were in need of partnership. So we just kind of my wife coincidentally was familiar with it. It was a little boutique here in LA that was very popular with Barry's Boot Camp and some of the gyms and studios. So this was back in 2008. So we've had it for that long.
Congratulations.
Crazy. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's similar to the acting industry, where there's a lot of ups and downs, and you almost kind of break through, and then you get an account that's really big that you're stoked about, and then COVID hit last year. It's presented another challenge for especially our business model, because we relied on retailers. You know what I mean? We'd sell to retailers, and they all closed their doors, so it was very challenging. But we're trying to emerge on the other side.
See what happens. Side. Amen. Amen. What are some quotes that you live by? Or a quote that you live by?
Well, one I think that always was kind of seemed to apply to me was don't let the fear of striking out keep you out of the game.
Oh, I needed to hear that. Yes.
You know what I mean? Just do it, because you never know. If you don't go up to bat, you're always going to be wondering, what happens if I would have went up to bat? Maybe I would have hit. And if you strike out, at least you know, right? You can learn from that. You can grow. You can success. That applies to so many aspects of life. I feel like that's a good one.
That's true. What is the best advice you ever got as an actor?
I think it was pretty simple. It was just work hard and keep showing up. You know what I mean? You keep working hard and you keep showing up, the odds start to tilt in your favor. You know what I mean? With that comes a bunch of stuff, resilience, and you know what I mean? You gotta grow some thick skin and all of that. But at the end of the day, if you keep showing up and keep doing it, consistency, coupled with hard work, the right things are going to line up for you to make it.
That's right. Is there anything else we can be on the lookout for? I know Ruthless is enough right now, or is that just your focus right now? This amazing hit TV show.
It is. I started recurring on another show as well for Apple TV. It's called Truth Be Told with Octavia Spencer.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I started that for season 2, and I started that in December. They have shorter seasons. It's only 10 episodes. So I finished the recur on that, and it was kind of light. I'm looking forward to season 3 and seeing if the character develops even further. But I shot 3 episodes of that so far that are, I'm not sure when season 2 starts to air, but be on the lookout for that. It's coming.
Definitely, Matt.
Yeah.
What do you think anyone should consider before they even think about entering the entertainment industry as an actor?
Well, I think you got to assess how much you love it, you know what I mean? And what you're willing to sacrifice as a result of it. Because you're going to most likely have some hungry days, you know what I mean, where there's just no guarantee in it. There's no guarantee with anything in life, but the acting business is it's extremely competitive, and there's just a lot of elements that need to come together in order to make it. So define, I guess, what your level of making it is, what you were okay with, and I guess your worst case scenario and being okay with that, and then what the best case scenario might be. It all depends on if that's what makes you tick, if that's your passion, if that's what you love to do, then then it's probably meant for you to do that. So I guess that's your reasoning for wanting to be an actor in the first place, and kind of what you're willing to sacrifice, knowing that, you know, the times could and very well may be rough for a period of time. You know,
to be able to accept that, especially with it being a competitive industry and there's no's and days that you may not get booked, and you just keep going, and then you'll have opportunities like you've been blessed with, for sure. I guess I'll leave you, Matt, with, what do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy to be, at least my world right now, the most important is my family and my children. So I would like them, when I leave, to maybe often have thoughts of, you know, what would Dad do? How would Dad handle these situations? And I'm hoping that I could pass on to them to be present in the moment and to really appreciate everything around them. So starting with nature, like it's everywhere, like we're all blessed with nature and all things that have been created. And sometimes I don't think people really kind of stop to smell the flowers. That's another one, you know, stop and literally smell the flowers, and to really appreciate the air that we breathe, the things that we have. And that trickles down to relationships, like really appreciate the relationships that you have, the family that you have, to be giving and selfless. I'm hoping those are the, you know, some of the qualities that they have seen in me. Work hard, but still be present. You know what I mean? Like, be around, be giving of your time and of yourself, and appreciate. If I can somehow pass that on, I think they'll be okay.
That's one of the best responses that I heard in a long time. I can tell that you're very selfless and humble with all the blessings that you have. And I just commend you. We honor you. We salute you, respect you. We're going to continue rooting for you. I'm glad that Cindy connected us today. Thank you so much. Sending love from New York State to sunny Cali. Stay safe, Matt. And thank you so much for this interview today.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure getting to know you. I appreciate it. All the best.
Thank you, Matt. Peace.
All right. Peace.